Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. My name is Sharifa Kankwasa and I am here with my friend.
I'm called Ruth Ainembabazi.
She's called Ainembabazi Lucy. So today we are at a place in Kanungu called Maizmera Echo, and there is this story that I have actually wanted to share, and I feel like today is the right time for me to share what has been at my heart for a very long time. Someone may wonder, because how many people do we have in this world?
Uncountable.
No, yeah, uncountable, but there is a rough estimate that the world has about 7 billion people, yeah? But out of those 7 billion people, there is someone that that did something to me. And you see, the Bible says that we should forgive and forget, but for me, I don't think I will ever forgive that person. I don't know whether that is right. I don't know whether I need to go maybe to church or maybe to mosque, and maybe I can get the courage to forgive that person. Luz, is there someone in this world that you feel you may never forgive? Maybe he or she did something wrong to you and your heart feels like you should never forgive this person.
Yeah, that one can happen, but it is right to forgive and forget.
So for you, you cannot keep that anger, that you cannot forgive someone completely from the heart.
I can forgive you, but I can put a distance.
You can put a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, there is this person, I think it was in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And one of my former schools, the head teacher of that school, and unfortunately he passed on, so he died at some point. I think he died like 2 years ago. But the whole point is that in 2022, the teacher of that school, the then head teacher, because he was still alive, so he invited me. He knew me as because I was an OB of that school.
Yeah.
So it means that I studied from that school from senior 1 and finished O and A level from that school. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, because the teacher knew that I was a brilliant person, very smart in class. Those who know me, I grew up as a very smart kid. In my early years of student life, from nursery 1 up to senior P7, up to senior 4, up to what? Because as far as I know, ever since I started school, I was always the first from senior 1 up to senior 4 around second term. There is a girl that later joined us from a far better school, so she's the one that defeated me ever. So that was in senior 4 second term. That's when she came. I'm not going to disclose the school, but she joined us.
So I would like to ask you, is the person who made you angry alive, or he died?
No, the person who made me annoyed is actually alive, and I'm going to she's actually a teacher somewhere in Kanungu, to be specific. Now, this is the context of the story. Then, of course, after finishing my senior 6, then went on to study computer science, became a software engineer, because those who know me, I'm a programmer. I design software, websites and stuff. Things related to IT and programming. Now, that head teacher was my friend from high school, because even during high school, he was supporting me actually financially. He would pay school fees for me partially. There is what we call, I think it was 25% scholarship. So then at some point he heard that I was a a software developer, that I was good at making systems. So he invited me to his school to design a software program for the new curriculum. The new curriculum had just been introduced. You know this new curriculum, eh?
Yeah.
Now, because the new curriculum had been introduced, the school wanted a system that would help them in automation of results, like student grades, blah, 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 blah. Yeah? And the teacher knew I was very good at that, so he invited me to the school to design the system. I reached the school, and then, of course, when I visited the school, there was an advert because they wanted someone to develop the software. The teacher wanted me, and the director of studies of that school had another person she wanted.
And that is the woman.
That is the woman. So she had another person, not me. So I started the work. I started doing the system. I programmed it from A to Z, and the system worked actually. The teachers embraced it. It worked. But then that woman kept saying, no, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. So she kept on putting a situation whereby she was dissatisfied with my work. Not that it was not working, but because she had something in her mind that was against what I was doing.
Yeah.
I would present the work to the teachers. They would be okay with it, but for her, she would not approve the work. Remember, she had the power because she was the director of studies. I don't know whether she's still the director of studies, but she was the director of studies. Now, at some point, the term was ending, because I would join that school towards the end of the term when students are about to do exams, so that I make sure that the software is working. So towards the end of every term, by the way, I spent 1 year developing that system. So I developed it, it worked, then I made sure that towards the end of the term, I would come back to school so that I make sure that the marks is entering well and the teachers are able to use the system. Yeah. Now at some point, that woman tells me that, do you know that I can make the teacher not to pay you, Sharif? Then I was like, you as who? Because for me, it's not that I'm the one who had brought himself to the school. The teacher wanted me. He knew my potentiality. He knew me as a smart person who could design what he wanted.
Yeah.
Now, I was like, no, you cannot stop him from paying me because you don't even know how much I'm paid. The deal is between me and him. You don't know even how much I'm paid to do this system. So I was actually rough at her and in front of other teachers, because she wanted to be ashamed me in front of other teachers. Like she wanted to belittle me, and I reacted back. I was like, no, you cannot actually, because I know how I came here and I believe that I am here by merit and I'm doing the right thing. So the teacher invited me to his office. The term was actually ending, and whenever the term was ending, to like the following day they're giving out reports. That night I would be paid. Yeah. So the teacher invited me to the office and said, and also invited the DOS, because the DOS is the one that was supposed to approve my work.
Yeah.
So the DOS was like, Sharif has not done the right thing. Now the teacher was like, but then how come the system is working and the teachers are saying that the thing is working? So the DOS said that, I am quoting what he said, that Sharif has not done the right thing. Maybe you may not pay him, or maybe you may pay him half and when he finishes the thing, maybe you pay him the balance next time. The teacher was surprised and was like, he called the bursar and said, the man is here, he has done his work, and I feel he has to be paid. So the bursar came and paid me my money. So that woman almost fainted inside the office of the IHM because she thought she had the powers. Yet for me, I also had powers of Gambanogu. Like, I also had powers because that teacher was my friend, and he knew what I was capable of doing, and he knew I was doing the right thing.
Now, like, since you was paid and everything was sorted, why couldn't you forgive the woman?
No, I'm getting there. Now, what happened? She started blackmail. Blackmailing me, this and that. And then she got a connection with other teachers of other departments, especially in IT. Now, when I joined that school, I became like a threat to some teachers, especially in the IT department, because most of the things I am the one who would do them. Whenever the teacher would want something to do with registration of candidates, I'm the one who would do that work. Yet those teachers would be facilitated to go to Kampala to do that work from Kampala. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would be paid money to go to Kampala. They would be facilitated well. Now, why would someone go to Kampala, yet I can do the work online from the school? Now, the whole group started fighting me because I had sabotaged their deal. I had sabotaged their source of income because they would no longer be facilitated to go to Kampala. I'm the one who would do the work from school, and the teacher trusted me on that.
Yeah.
Now, where they would get allowances from, that path had been broken indirected by me, because I would do the work from school and they would not be facilitated to go to Kampala. Now they got a way of trying to fight me, and now they started making false stories about me. Yeah. Like you're there and someone says, Sharifu is not doing this work, Sharifu. Now they start saying, Sharif is dating this student.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cooking up random stories so that you can be seen as a rather bad person, yet they know it is not true. So that woman started cooking very, very bad stories about me. And I remember at some point, because I would sleep in the residence, I didn't want to mention the school, but then when I mentioned the residence, most of the people watching this will know what I'm talking about, because okay, I would sleep in the staff quarters. Let me say the staff quarters. Now, whenever I would of course have supper with the head teacher and some other teachers there. Now, at some point, I got depressed. Guys, depression is real, because for me, I used to hear people saying that they are depressed, and I would think that maybe they're just broke and maybe they're just forging around. But that day, during that time, I realized that depression was real. People actually get depressed. So I became very, very depressed. And one day when I was having supper, the teacher was there, I decided to open up to him, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm tired because of this and that. This person saying ill words about me, saying all this, doing this, what we call, I may call it a witch hunt campaign. So I was open to the teacher because he was my friend. And he was like, Sharif, I am the one who brought you here. You don't have to worry about anything. That if they can talk about him, how about me? If they can talk about the head teacher himself, because I think some groups used to talk about him. That how about you, Sharif? I'm quoting, if they can talk about me, how about you? That is what he said.
Yeah.
And I felt a bit relaxed because I thought, okay, are these guys doing running this campaign so that I may look bad and maybe I look really, really bad and maybe the teacher can say something about me and maybe fire me? But the head teacher gave me good confidence and said that don't worry, I am the one that brought you here and no one can chase you away from here. So I got somehow relaxed. I gained a lot of confidence. I was like, okay, let me persist. And of course, the term ended, and then another term opened. Because whenever the term would open, I would wait for some time. Towards the end of the term, I would choose. I would go to school because I would be in Kampala. But towards the end of the term, like 1 month to the end of the term, I would travel so that I make sure the system works.
Yeah.
Now, I reached the school. The same campaign was going on because I had blocked their sources of income. They thought that, okay, whenever the money they used to make from facilitation to Kampala, I was doing things online, trying to save money for the school. But for them, they were not up about that because they would benefit from them being to Kampala. And then some other people feared that maybe I would take over their teaching jobs. But for me, I'm into programming. I'm not a computer teacher. I did not study education really to teach in school. So they had their own insecurities and they tried to fight me. And that was that woman and some other section of actually administrators who connived with that woman, just to blackmail me and make me look like a bad person. Now the term opened and then activities went on, and then that term also ended. Now when the term ended and there was still that kind of witch hunt going on, like, okay, I was like, you know what, shall leave. I came here not as a desperate person. Whenever I would go there towards the end of the term, I had my own company running. I was already running High Five Radio. I was already running Academics Uganda Limited, a software company with an office. I had people I would pay using money per month. Actually, the money I was earning from that school on that gig was so little compared to the time I would put into that. Because in Kampala I had my own office and I was doing very well. So for them, those women and the other whatever, they thought that I was maybe making a lot of money on that gig and they tried to fight me so that they bring their own person to do the work. Now I was like, I am not desperate. I have my own business. I have a media company. I have a software project. I was like, no, let me quit out of my own will.
Yeah.
Now that term ended and the following term I was like, no, I'm not going. I decided not to go back. So the teacher tried to contact me. I was like, no, I think I've made a decision. I'm not coming back for personal reasons. I did not go into details.
Yeah.
And obviously I think they became happy because they ended up getting another person to do the work I was doing. So now they discarded my software, the one I had developed. They discarded it. Yet was already working and the students had already started using it. They discarded it and then they brought another person to do another software. Different, because that was the goal of the person who was my supervisor. For her, she wanted a different person to do the work. And maybe, perhaps she would get a commission. I think that was the deal. Or maybe the money I was earning, she also wanted a percentage on it. I don't know. Now, they brought another person and he did shadow work. They discarded my work, then they brought another person and did very, very amateur work. And that work was also discarded. They brought another person. Now the person who was fighting me that I was not doing the right thing brought in another person who did the very fake work, and then the school had to bring another person. That is wastage of money and resources. But when I left that school, I was very depressed, and I was like, okay, I would spend like 3 years without ever going there. That was a decision for me. And I think from 2022, 2023, 4, 5, 6, I think it is now 4 years. I think now I should go there, but she's still there, so I will not go there since she's still there. I'll go there when she leaves that place.
So what if she doesn't leave?
No, she will leave. She will leave.
How
that
sure
is,
are you?
that is life. She will leave at some point. I know she will leave that school.
Then you have to first forgive her.
Now, when she leaves that school, even if she leaves today, the next day I will be there. At least as an OB, I not go there to work, but to go there and maybe check on other people, because I have friends there.
But still you can go there because you cannot be going there to work. You can be going there to check on other people.
No. When she's there, I think I cannot go there.
And
because
what will
I would
she do?
feel bad. No, there's nothing she can do. Really.
Then you have to go there.
Even during those days, you see, she would try to sabotage me, and then the teacher would approve, and then I'm the one who said I would not go back. So not going there is my decision, as long as she's there. And guys, out of 7 billion people, that is the person I hate most in my life. I hate only that woman. Out of 7 billion people in this world, that is the woman I hate most. And it is almost 5 years, and up to now I've never forgiven her. And I don't think I will ever forgive her, because she did a very, very stupid thing to me. By trying to fight me, trying to do this witch hunt, trying to do this to me, really.
So if that woman come to you and apologize, up to now you won't forgive.
I don't think the damage she did and the psychological torture, I will forgive that woman, really.
But things happen. Things happen. Yeah, you can forgive her. If she apologizes, you can forgive her. And I think that woman doesn't still remember what she did to you.
No, she knows. You see,
really,
I had a very good reputation. Those who started with me know me as a very good man. Even those in Chi, those who I've worked with, she's someone, the first person to ever try to do that stupid blackmail against my name, really. And it really hurt me to the core. I don't know, maybe I will one day get the courage to forgive her. Maybe. They say there's this US politician who was once a president, was it Abraham Lincoln, I think. He said that you should forgive and forget. No, you should forgive, but don't forget their names. Maybe I should forgive her, but her name, I don't think I can ever erase that name from my heart, really, because she did something very, very, very bad to me. Can you imagine, out of 7 billion people, to find that you only hate one person?
I would like to meet that woman.
She's very, very tough. Very tough.
Yeah, I would like
she has a bad heart. I don't think there is anyone in Kanungu who has a bad heart like that person. And I know, according to the algorithm of YouTube, I know she will come across this video. And I know she will come across this video. And it is okay. I am speaking my mind. And the fact that I've recorded episode 1, this is episode 2, this is episode 1. I'll run this series up to episode 5. Because I've just given a brief introduction of the story. Next time I'll give you another part of it, up to part 5. Maybe when the parts are over, I will forgive, because you see, sometimes there is a way of anger management and how to relax, and maybe the fact that I've said what was at my heart, and for over for the last years, I had never said this story to anyone, not even my parents. My own parents don't know this story. It is today that I'm saying it in camera. Maybe I'll feel relaxed after saying it. Maybe. Because it hurt me. And whenever during those days, people would see me and be like, oh, Sharif, what is disturbing? What is disturbing you? Now, people, especially the OBs and the ones I left there, whenever they meet me now, they be like, oh, you man, you have changed. I've changed because I successfully survived depression. You see, if I show you the photo of 2022, you cannot believe that is Sharif. I was very tiny, very depressed, but now I put on some weight, the cheeks, and I'm now a very big person. I grew up as a very small person, small in size, naturally. But when I reached that place for that gig, I lost more weight because the stress was too much. Now, something about my size, you see, when I was growing up, there are people who say that they cannot eat meat. How do we call them? Those who cannot eat meat. They are vegetarians. Those who cannot eat meat, I think. Now, I grew up, I would not eat meat. My parents tried everything to get me a solution, to get me medicine so that I start taking meat. Everything failed. But because I was tiny in size, I used to be called one thread. One thread. That's how they used to call me.
That was your nickname.
Yes, one thread. I was thick like a thread. I'm exaggerating. But my brothers they had some weight. They were a bit fat, and for me, I was very tiny. And now, those brothers of mine would call me one thread, and I would feel very bad. Now, one day, my mother lied to me that, Sharif, when you start taking meat, you'll grow fat and be like your brothers. Now, I told my mother, you know what? You go and buy meat. She bought meat, we prepared it, and that night I ate meat without feeling uncomfortable because I wanted to gain weight. And whenever I would eat meat, by the way, or whenever I would see meat being prepared, or whenever I would smell it, I would feel uncomfortable. I would feel actually sick. But then, that day when my mother lied to me that when you eat meat, you'll grow fat and be like your brothers, that night I ate meat, the following day I ate it, the next day I ate it. Right now, the only meat I cannot take is one, which is prohibited by Muslims. But all other animal meat, I take it. But
some take it.
Yeah, some, maybe. But then, now I take everything. But you see, if my mother had not lied to me that if you take meat, you will not grow fat, I don't think even right now I would be taking meat, because she had tried everything, every solution, every drug had failed. That's why I think it was a mindset. And I think also those people who don't take meat is a mindset. Because when she lied to me, I had to change my mindset and be like, oh, you know what? I have always wanted to gain weight. Why can't I eat meat? And that is how I started taking meat. And whenever I remember that story, I'm always left in stitches. And you know what happened? Of course, I started taking meat. I did not gain weight. I stayed as Huzemwe. I finished primary as Huzemwe. I went to O-level as Huzemwe. Then it is recently that I actually started gaining weight, and now, I have some weight, and I'm grateful to that, by the way. And now you see, there are humans. They used to complain when I was very small, and now they are complaining when I've put on some weight. Now I don't know what people want. When you are small, they complain. When you put on some weight, they also complain. I don't know what humans want. But guys, thank you for watching this video. This is part 1. I promise to make 5 episodes until I feel relaxed about this woman, and maybe by end of those 5 episodes I will be fully relaxed and I will forgive her completely. Thank you for watching, and if you love this story, kindly hit that subscribe button. Bye bye.